Hello everyone and welcome to a different style of video that I normally don't do, but I feel like as we approach closer to EAFC 26, I feel like I should be sharing this with you. So I luckily got access to the closed beta for EAFC 26. I know there's been some people that have posted content about it, but technically you're not allowed to do that. So here is some gameplay in the background of the Charlton series that I have on YouTube that will probably be ending soon because it's FC 2025, so we're into 26, and we've got much more plans for that. So, but this is what I learned through playing the career mode, the ultimate team. I didn't learn too much about player and like the new play styles that are coming. I think they've already been confirmed, but just to give you a little bit more insight into what they can actually do when they're applied to players. So we'll start off with the small stuff, but obviously a lot of people's favourites is career mode. Career mode is getting a lot of changes based on real life as well, actually. So there is three areas. So instead of like the five detailed bits that you get at the start, there's three main bits. So you've got fan devotion, youth facilities, and financial stability, which are the three things that they are going to focus on in this EAFC. So for like clubs like Liverpool, fan devotion is high, and financial stability will probably be medium to high. Youth facilities maybe low to medium, depending on where they rank them against places like Chelsea. Trying to think of youngsters that come through. Chelsea are the ones that stand out for me. But anyways, and then you also have random events kind of thing. So you've got financial takeovers can happen at any single time. So like Newcastle, when they got bought in the middle of a season, that can happen to your club in real life. Well, in game, which is actually kind of cool. And then you've also got things to affect players more. So like injuries. But instead of having like long injuries, you can have things like food poisoning or things like COVID in the game that can also spread throughout the team and cause you to have to play a weaker side, which I think is quite a good encapsulation of what happens in actual football and makes you think and adapt like an actual manager more than it already does with the progressions that we've seen this year. So for me, I think it's a really good step to further upgrade, make something more of career mode and make it more challenging, interesting, and gives you a whole new load of avenues to go through in terms of like situations to deal with, because that's what managers actually have to do. So who knows, you could maybe become an actual professional coach off this. I hope so. But yeah, and I'll include this bit into career mode because you will see a lot more in career mode in terms of what kind of teams you want to replicate. But there is a few new player roles for, I think it's only four positions technically, and it's ones that we actually haven't seen that need to be seen. So basically, all the attackers have stayed the same. There's nothing different to them. They all play the way they are meant to. But we've got new goalkeeper. So we've got normal goalkeeper, we have sweeper keeper like we did, and ball playing goalkeeper. So Andre Onana is going to be OP. No, so it's like someone who's good passing with their feet. So I'm thinking like an Edison would be considered ball playing keeper. People like that, like people that can play with their feet and create chances and actually have passing of like midfielders, say, or fullbacks. Speaking of fullbacks, so we have basically the same ones. So we've got fullback, false back, wing back, and then we've got attacking wing back. And then the interesting one, which I don't know how I feel about it yet until we use it. It could create some very, very interesting play styles and very open games, especially where these players end up playing. But it's inverted wing backs. But instead of coming in as a centre mid, they push up a little bit more and play more of a cam. which I'm not too sure how I feel. Like, Alex Grimaldo will play fantastically there because he has those abilities. But people like Miles Lewis Skelly, who people say is an inverted fullback, will not perform as well there. Even the likes of Calafiori for Arsenal won't perform well there because his card is more of a a false back, so slots in as another CDM. So it'll be interesting to see in how people adapt it, and it's another layer to A, Ultimate Team, and B, career mode. So I fully invite it in these changes, and I think they're quite cool to actually adapt it to modern football. And especially in their trailer, they said they were listening to the fans. They were going to try and make it more realistic and most realistic as possible. And I think they have done that very, very well. For centre-backs, we obviously have defender, stopper, ball playing, and then we have wide back, which is basically the left centre-back, left central centre-back. Well, it becomes a left-sided centre-back. The right one becomes a right-sided centre-back, but then you've got a giant gap in the middle. You can either use the ball-playing keeper, I think, and then the next ones for central defensive mid, where you have centre-half, holding, deep-lying playmaker, wide half, and then something that I think should maybe be more of a centre mid role, but box crasher. So people like Rodri will have this, but that is literally, in my opinion, it's just living off the Inter final that they won, where they won their first Champions League. Whoop whoop. Basically, box crasher, so they'll come in late to the box, maybe outside like 20 yards, and there'll be an option to pass essentially. So I think it's going to be interesting. I think a lot of new play styles will develop this year. I think you might have a little bit more end-to-end games where it's like very high scoring, or you've got to master defending to a T. So yeah, those are the new roles. But then we have Ultimate Team. So this is what I experienced playing. Obviously, I was playing with a little bit higher rated players than we will start with when the game comes out in a couple of days' time. So whilst playing the game, you can feel the players are a little bit more responsive and actually have the agility that they're supposed to. So when you do a skill move, they actually do it. Whereas in one of the recent episodes of Charlton, my guy's done what I called a golf putt Cruyff turn, because he's Cruyff turned, but the ball has gone to my other player. So yeah, but they actually do respond very, very well, very quickly, and go directions where you're asking them to without much fuss. And then headers. So we all complained last year that headers do not work in the slightest. Like, you could have Van Dijk in your team, you could put him on corners and everything, and he still wouldn't fucking score. But basically, there is now a play style which I will go through in the shooting area, and if they have that, or even the hint of that, they will get their head on it and they will go to the general direction of the goal and not back to the other side's corner flag. And the thing is, I use Van Dijk as an example, but when I played, I scored with people like Mbappe and Bellingham, who aren't as tall as Van Dijk. Bear in mind, I was also facing your Salibas, your Gabriels, your fucking, what do you call it? Your Van Dijks. So it's not like they're unbeatable. It's actually fair. It emulates proper crossing. So, and then passing, I found passing so much more fluid and actually like crisp, like normal football. So when using like L1 triangle or through ball or the L1 pass in general to make it more accurate, they actually find their targets, or they play it more forward, but it is in line with the running player. So I done one from like my left centre mid across to my right winger, and it beautifully cut through the midfield of my opponent and didn't land at my player. It was a couple yards in front of him when you're doing the run, so he can come onto it and take the ball for his own, which I think is absolutely immense. So I think it will be very good. I think the passing seemed so smooth. I genuinely didn't have an issue with the passing. Obviously, spam triangle, that was the only thing I had an issue with because that's what I learned to do this year. But yeah. But in gameplay selections, it's already been widely talked about and very widely spoken about. So we're going to have tournaments, not only for professionals or people in top divisions, but we're going to have it for neutral players as well. Maybe based off of like nationalities, leagues, ratings, something like that, to make it more interesting and use numerous different types of players in your team. When you go into your I think it's your play section, you'll have your most recently played modes, but then on your left hand side you'll have, I think it's competitive, tournaments, and most recently played, like frequently played, which I think, yes, it does complicate the interface a little bit more, but it gives you actual areas instead of scrolling through a million different things, which I quite liked. And also another bigger thing for players like myself who are not foot champs ready all the time, and I don't always have time to play champs, you don't have to play against the best anymore. I think there's different divisions, so 10 to 8, 7 to 5, 5, I think it's like, or to 4, and then 4 up, you can do individual champs. So you actually have the chance of getting good rewards and be bang average like myself, and you can be good and still get the good rewards. So I think that's great. It balances out the playstyle. It makes people want to play the game a little bit longer than me, because I usually get bored by January. After Team of the Year comes out, pad down, career mode is all the thing that I will play. So I think it's quite good, a very good change that come into the game. But now let's get into the playstyles, the final bit to encompass this entire video. So the headers I was talking about, it's called precision headers, which in my opinion, well no, the precision heading that was in last game, so like people like Chris Wood, was in my opinion absolutely useless. Didn't do anything. I had Chris Wood for like 15 games, never scored a single fucking headed goal in my life. But now, yeah, so it is precision heading. I'm reading my notes here and I'm reading it back to front. So it's precision heading that is now the actual thingy. And it does, as I said, lock on to the actual goal and put it into corners of the goal where it will be hard for the goalkeeper to find. So headers actually might be the meta this year. And then we have volleys have been added. So the acrobatics has been moved from, I think it's the physical, into shooting. So we can do Wayne Rooney's shin bicycle kick and Zinedine Zidane's kung fu fucking shots. I love that acrobatic style and that 94 free one that we all got. So banging. Low driven shots are here to stay, and so God help me, that is going to kill me. But it was very popular at the end of last FIFA for EAFC for a lot of people, so it came to stay. And to be fair, I think it'll be interesting to play against. And it also depends on the goalkeeper movement that they have said that they improved on this year. Then another one we have is, which is I think a game changer, is Trivela shots. So I think with Ricardo Quaresma coming as a hero, and then we have obviously Yamal who does it a lot right now, I think those two players are bang to have them. So yeah, it will be. It's called Game Changer, but it is literally just a Trivela shot because in passing they've named it Trivela. So yeah, I think that'll be fun. That'll cause a lot of rage because it'll be like people can score from impossible angles. But we move on to passing now. They have kept everything the same except for one, which was the Trivela pass, which obviously Yamal is also quite popular for it right now. His Trivela passing is just ridiculous. And that will definitely be, I think Salah as well, probably one that I'd have on there for it. Just swinging it behind the lines, catching people off guard. I think it'll be a very good one. Keep you defensively adapt and everything. So, yeah. So, defending stays mostly the same, except that the Bruiser has been moved into the physical category and been replaced by Aerial Fortress. So basically, no lob through balls for you when Virgil van Dijk's in the other person's defence, because that shit is getting yeeted. I defended as Virgil van Dijk with this aerial malarkey on, and that ball went miles. I'm surprised he didn't end up back at the goalkeeper. So yeah, it will be interesting. So, and then we have ball control, which is
a few moments later.
So in the ball control section of the Playstyles, only one of them has been removed, which was Flair, which we all know was basically Trickster, but a little bit shit. Because it was, they did a little body feint. Trickster, you could do the same thing and, I don't know, rainbow flicker over some dickhead's head. So, touche. And then, physical, both Travella and Acrobatic have been moved into the Playstyle categories where they actually belong, but one has been added, which is the Enforcer. This allows a player better shielding while dribbling, so good luck getting the ball off of your likes of Pedri and Gravenberch. But I think that's a very smart one to do because you need players to defend their ball, and like some people get pushed off the ball way too easily. So I think that will be a good one to have. And then goalkeeping, nothing has actually changed in goalkeeping. As I said, the movement will be better for goalkeepers and they will react better. The only thing we are yet to find is if Deflector, the playstyle, still puts it in the path of our opponents, and we still have that kind of cheese in EAFC. So, yeah. But that is everything I learned from the EAFC closed beta. I personally really enjoyed it, and I will be getting it. I may not be getting it on release day, but there will definitely be content on stream and on YouTube with EAFC 26 and even TikTok actually. So yeah, if you did like this video and if you do like more informative videos sometimes, then remember to like and subscribe and leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think of these type of videos. So yeah, thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.